This is Ask Todd on the Financial Exchange Radio Network. If you have an existing estate plan or are in the market for one, Todd Lutsky is here to answer your questions and help you plan for later life. Ask Todd is presented by Cushing & Dolan, serving Massachusetts and New England for more than 35 years, helping families with estate and tax planning, Medicaid planning, and probate law. Visit CushingDolan.com. Now, here's Todd Lutsky.
And as promised, we are now joined by Mr. Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing and Dolan. If you have a question for Todd, this is your chance to ask him that question about your estate plan. We call the segment Ask Todd for that very reason. So, get calling at 888-205-2263. That is the number to call to speak to Mr. Lutsky right now on the air about your estate plan or about your lack of estate plan if you're feeling, maybe you need to get started or something like that. That number again is 888-205-2263. One more time, it's 888-205-2263. Mr. Lutsky, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm a little bit confused. Have you seen the Dog Bowl?
No, not at all.
I never knew that he could either.
That's true.
So let's talk a little bit about gifting, just because it's never too early to talk about gifting when it comes to, the end of the year and the holiday shopping season.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're talking about gifting of assets. And let's say that someone has assets that they want to gift. First question that I'll ask you is, what is the annual amount that someone is allowed to gift with no tax consequences or no filings or nothing due at the time of that gift or any time after?
Yeah, good point. Gifting is a very complicated, although it seems easy for everybody. You could just, write a check, give things away, give assets away. It's way more complicated than that, and lots of thinking should go into it. But to answer your quick question, one of the things you can do is if you do want to make a gift and not have to file a Form 709, which is a gift tax return form that is filed in the year following the year of the gift. So if you make a gift this year, it would be April 15th, along with your income tax return, on 2024 for 2023 gifts. However, you don't have to file that if you make a check for $17,000 or less to anybody. So to Chuck, to me, to Tucker, to anybody you want, once a year, free of filing, and no gift tax return is due and no gift tax is due, and it doesn't eat into your exclusion.
What happens in the event that you gift over that limit? Is that something where you have a big tax bill due or the person receiving it has a big tax bill due? Yes.
Also, great questions on this front, right? Because many people say, well, what if I want to give, help my kid with a down payment on a house, and I want to give him, $100,000 or $200,000. Well, you could cut the check for $200,000, and remember, folks, the recipient never has a tax due. There is, first of all, never any income tax associated with a gift. Doesn't happen to anybody. And the recipient not only does not have an income tax, but does not have a gift tax. They're just getting the asset. Easy. Unfortunately, the giver, no good deed goes unpunished, right? So the giver gets the tax bill and has to pay the gift tax. So how does it work? If I gave away, just to keep the numbers easy, if I gave away $217,000 to my daughter to have a down payment on a house.
Yep.
Well, the first $17,000, that's that freebie we talked about earlier. You don't have to do anything with that. However, because you're over the 17, you got to report the whole $217,000 on a gift tax return, Form 709. The first 17 is a freebie, so the taxable gift is $200,000. And after you back out the 17, the $200,000 you would be subject to gift tax. However, we have this once in a lifetime, currently $12,920,000 gift tax exemption. I know it's the same as the estate tax exemption, but it is a gift tax exemption. And you would simply eat into your $12,920,000 exemption by $200,000, and then you would have no gift tax due, but you would have less gift tax exemption going forward. Just because you don't pay the gift tax and just because you could, if you're listening, give away $12 million and not pay a gift tax, I'm not suggesting that you do that.
Talking with Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing & Dolan. We call the segment Ask Todd because it's your chance to ask Todd your estate planning questions. The line here is 888-205-2263. That is the number to call to ask Todd a question about your specific situation right now. Again, it is 888-205-2263. One more time, it's 888-205-2263. Todd, what kinds of stuff can you gift that falls under that $17,000? Is it just cold hard cash? Can you gift stocks, bonds, real estate, companies? What can you actually gift using that money?
Yeah, you're technically able to give away, as any asset you want. But now when we leave that and we go into this other area of gifting, we talked about dollar amounts initially, but when you leave that and you go into what you want to give, now you open up another can of worms. Well, does it make sense to give away that rental property or that vacation home that I might have bought years ago that have a very low basis in the property? And then what happens if you give away low basis property? You stick somebody with the capital gain on the other side. So giving away low basis assets is not always the best way to go. So you have to now start thinking about what assets make sense to gift and how to gift them. And I certainly think we should explore that as we go forward.
Talking with Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing & Dolan. Your chance to ask Todd your questions is right now. Call 888-205-2263 to ask Mr. Lutsky your estate planning questions. That number again is 888-205-2263. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, it's straight to your questions with Todd. So get on the line, 888-205-2263. Quick break, and then right to your questions.
Ask Todd with Todd Lutsky every Wednesday at 10:30, only here on the Financial Exchange Radio Network.
Talking with Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing & Dolan. If you have a question for Mr. Lutsky, the studio line here is 888-205-2263. Again, that is 888-205-2263. Todd, suppose that someone wanted to make a gift in excess of the annual gifting limit. How can they work together with their spouse, and maybe even how the calendar works to try to get some extra money going towards a certain individual?
I think I want to do that, Chuck, but I want to go right to the callers if we could. I think we got a caller queued up already. So let's just, in the interest of time, I just want to go right to the caller.
Tucker, I didn't see your email. I don't see what I have here.
Mark in Orleans.
We got Mark in Orleans. Mark, you're on with Todd Lutsky.
Hi, Todd. This is Mark. I want to discuss my mother's estate. Her estate's worth about $3.5 million. $2 million in a house, $1 million in a piece of property, buildable lot, and about $500,000 cash. We're thinking about gifting the property to one of my brothers and trying to get her total estate down or as close to the $2 million level. Is that a good way to go, you think?
Yeah, this is a great question. A lot of people ask something like this. So what I heard was about a $3,500,000 estate, a $2 million property, and $1 million in money and $500,000 of other. Is that about right?
$1 million in a piece of property, a separate buildable lot property, and $2 million in a house.
Okay, so $3 million.
And then $500,000 in cash.
In cash. So remember, you're only taxed technically on the amount over. Well, not really. Even now, under the new rule, it still bumps you up the rate schedule. But remember, on a $3.5 million estate, the mass tax will be approximately, you figure, 3.5 minus 2 is 1.5. You're looking at maybe $150,000 in tax. Okay?
Correct.
But if you take this $2 million property and you give it away, right? What did they pay for that? Probably a very low bought long time ago, right?
extremely low.
Yeah, so the gain on this property is probably $1 million, maybe $1.5 million, maybe more. Doesn't matter, right? Even if it's $1 million, you're going to pay 28.8% capital gains tax. So if you give that away now, then you give away the cost basis that's built into that property. And if you give that away, and let's say there's $1 million of gain built into the property, well, the person who goes to sell that property is going to have to pay close to $300,000 in tax. Well, if I keep that property and get a step up in basis when I die, so when your mother would pass away here, well, these assets would pass to the family, but they would get a brand new basis equal to fair market value on the date of death. And therefore, you would eliminate that built-in gain. And so, yeah, I got to give Mass $150, but I would have had to pay capital gains tax of $300,000 if I go to sell it, because it has the gain built in. But now I've eliminated the $300, so the kids or the family members can sell the property, pay no capital gains tax, but they got to give $150 to Mass. It's a matter of picking your poison, right? I would be better off not giving away the house or the land, and for $500,000 of cash, I'm not jumping up and down about that, but you could give away $17,000 per year per person without affecting anything. But these bigger assets, I would not do that. I would probably, in your case, hang on to it. And the analysis for everybody is you have to pick your poison. You have to be mindful of what you're going to give away. If it has low basis, like in Mark's situation, maybe hang on to that item. Don't give it away. I think we have another caller lined up. Let's head over there.
Sure, we got Marty in Brockton.
Hello.
Hi, Marty.
How are you today?
I'm great. What's your question?
The question is, my daughter needs $100,000 for her house.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If I loan it to her, will she have to pay taxes, or do I have to pay taxes on it?
Well, you want to loan her the $100,000?
Yes.
Well, if you loan her the $100,000, then the government's going to impute interest, and you're going to have to actually have her make payments back to you. Do you want her to pay you back?
No.
Okay.
But I don't know how to give it to her without paying taxes on it.
Well, you don't. It's very simple. Write her a check and give it to her. And if you write the check, the gift, there is no gift tax due. Okay. So if there's no gift tax due, she doesn't have an income tax and she doesn't have a gift tax. Okay. So there's absolutely no income tax due for her, and there's no gift tax due for her. You, on the other hand, would have to file a gift tax return, but you won't pay any gift tax because you can give away up to $12,920,000 once in a lifetime without paying a gift tax. So if I was you, cut her the check. Don't worry about the gift tax, and you should be fine. But, folks, what I want to do is tell you a little bit about gifting, and you've learned from these last three callers that it's not easy to do. You have a lot of things that you have to think about when you do gifting. You have to think about, one, how to give it. Like in this case, just write a check. Maybe that's the way to go. You have to think, maybe I want it to go into an irrevocable trust so I don't give it away to them and let them own it right away. Maybe I want to control it. Maybe I want to worry about high basis assets versus low basis assets. You have to think which assets are better to give away. Well, we're giving away a new guide. Speaking of giving, making the most of gifting assets. It's brand new for the month of November. Please call and get it before you make a gift. 866-848-5699 or go to our website, legalexchangeshow.com. You can download it there. Again, 866-848-5699 or legalexchangeshow.com.
Mr. Lutsky, thank you so much for the time today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
The views expressed in this segment are solely those of Cushing & Dolan. Armstrong Advisory does not provide any legal or tax advice. Please consult with your legal or tax advisor on such matters. Cushing & Armstrong do not endorse each other and are not affiliated. This has been Ask Todd on the Financial Exchange Radio Network. Ask Todd with Todd Lutsky has been presented by Cushing & Dolan, serving Massachusetts and New England for more than 30 years, helping families with estate and tax planning, Medicaid planning, and probate law. Call 800-393-4001 or visit CushingDolan.com.